Nick Walthall, David Tuckman here for 88 Poker. It's Magic Monday, folks. That's right.
Oh, here we go. Wow.
Whoa.
Oh, look at these hands.
Kings are good. We are heads up. The double elimination. I love double KOs. Whoa.
No, he calls and it's going to be over.
I've got a keyword giveaway, Nick.
This is for another $109 ticket.
We're going to go with Madrid.
Type Madrid in chat. Type it wants to win.
There's a ticket. Oh, Banfield had a big one.
Oh,
Banfield.
The Jillians.
Oh, wow. What a run out. Hello and welcome to the Severance. No, it's not the Severance. It's Magic Monday. Inside joke between, well, just me and Nick. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us. Courtesy of 88 Poker, we are here for a $100,000 mystery bounty main event. And as Nick said, what is it? Tariff free.
That's
Right?
correct. You'll not be charged for watching this show. Enjoy
Love
it.
Love it.
Not only is it free, you can actually make profit by winning a ticket. I can't do you a better deal than that in 2025.
Free, and you might. Yeah, that sounds good. We're going to be giving away 7 $109 tickets, 5 of them during the show, 2 at the end of our show with the amazing. That's right. People are talking about it. The Wheel of Justice. It knows whether you've been good or bad, and we'll be doing that at the end of the show. We also have a free roll for you that starts in just 28 minutes. Password for that free roll: Feb 1. Feb 01888.
You're all over it.
Well, I mean, it just took me a second. I looked at it, and I'm going, February 1, 888. I'm going, is it February? My calendar says February 3rd, but hey, what do I know?
It's a little confusing, but I think the thing is that January that we've just had lasted forever. It's literally the longest January on record. And I don't know, chat, you can confirm that. It was the longest January on record. And so I think they've just think that they've got stuck basically in January. So they're just on Feb 1, unfortunately.
I think that's okay. Congratulations to our 8 finalists here. They're all battling for nearly 5 figures, plus, of course, the remaining bounties. One decent-sized bounty left. It's $500. And, yes, if you and I were to play Nick Thinks or Tuck Thinks on how many days were in January 2025, no, the answer would not be 31. Might be closer to 182.
That's how many days it was.
It felt like it, for sure.
Massive shout out to Bombazota, who's got the deal handshake up with 8 players remaining. Because you never know your luck, do you?
Bombazota's like, hey, maybe everybody else wants to make a deal. I've got dinner plans. Let's go.
Exactly.
Hello and welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for your support. Nick Walthall, David Tuckman here, courtesy of 88 Poker. It is another Magic Monday. Shocker on a Monday. Last week's tournament was absolutely awesome. If you missed last week's final table, check that out in our archives. Definitely worth a watch. If you're looking to improve your game, don't listen to us. Just mute us, but watch the guys who won. He was really good.
Yeah, he was very good. I wouldn't mute us, though. You'll learn a lot about life.
Life.
Look at this new display thing we have. That
what
I
new
haven't been
display
briefed on. Like next to the players, like there's a little disc. What is that? The number of records they own. What is it?
Oh, I don't know. We should know that. Well, I mean, we've never seen it before.
Chat will know. What is it, chat? It's a time bank, right? Must be.
Yeah, but no, that doesn't make sense. Why would somebody be at 37, somebody's at 24? How many players they've eliminated?
Is it their age?
What is it? You know what? What is it? Wrong answers only, please. Go ahead.
Yeah, wrong. What is it? Wrong answers only. Aces of 1. You're welcome. Heart rate monitor says Lime. These people are very chill. Tells you the cash they've won in MTTs. In what unit, Bodwet?
Just any particular unit. Pesos, Canadian dollars, euros. What is it?
This sweet baby of a setup, David.
Yeah, we've got a hand here for you for sure. And this could be ugly for IREC. IREC, by the way, making a return trip to our stream. They have been here many times. They are our short stack. They've already locked up $1,300 in bounties, but they're going to have to get lucky here if they want to win this. No luck so far. Still no luck. And, well, they're consistent with the no luck theme, and they're out in 8th place. IREC. Well done, though. Last final table was back in December.
Does suck to run 10s into jacks, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, they're worth $200 though to my man. By the way, my man, their January didn't feel as long as ours because they've already been at 15 final tables this year.
Wow.
I mean,
normally that would be impressive, but given that January is 180 days, it's sort of average. It's okay.
It's a good point.
Not terrible. So Dotma2 says it's the cash they've collected over. I'm trying to get to the bottom of this stat. Dotma2 says the cash collected over all time. That doesn't feel right. But
well, we did ask for wrong answers only, so
that's a good wrong answer. It's their age, says Lord Grimm.
I think it's how many vinyl records they own. Because it looks like a vinyl next to it, doesn't it?
Symbolized by the vinyl record. Yeah. I think it's the age at which they lost their virginity. I'm pretty sure that's right.
That's almost definitely right.
Three of them haven't yet. 26, 25, 24, and 37.
Yeah, that seems about right. Ah, well done. That's the winner. You win a ticket.
Wrong answers only. It's a joke. It's wrong answers only. Don't get upset. People get upset, David. Do you know what I mean? I get letters.
Listen, I understand. You get letters. What's the address they send them to? Hello, Lime Ricky. Lime Ricky, shout out to our amazing moderator, Leo Gygek. Happy Magic Monday to you, too. Hello, Vinish. Vinish Tadu asking about the free roll. That starts in just 23 minutes. We're giving away $500 in cold hard cash. Password is Feb01888. So that's FEB01888, no spaces. Hello, welcome, 1985. 7 players remain. All 7 players, by the way, guaranteed $1,238 plus whatever bounties they've earned. Eric, by the way, took home with the bounties about $2,300. So not a bad day. Or 2, I should say.
Very good. JJ Granite coming in with a funny wrong answer. The number in the circle is the player's VPIP. You can hover over the circle to get more statistics of how they played. Hilarious. No, that is actually what it is. That is actually what it is, David.
It's really their VPIP?
Yeah. It's a new feature on 888, HUDs.
Okay, but why do some people have them and some people don't?
Because they haven't played a hand yet voluntarily. At the final table.
Ah.
Yeah. So whoever said that thing about their virginity, that was stupid, and you shouldn't have said that because it's not that. It's VPIP.
Right. And there's no correlation between VPIP and losing your virginity at all. Maybe there is.
I don't think there is.
I'll have to research that.
Quite further study, I think.
Hello, everybody. If you're wondering about the giveaways, they're coming. 5 $109 tickets. That's right. We do not mess around here. We don't just give you little $5 satellites or here's a balloon or, go buy a Slurpee. This is a $109 tournament ticket.
Just sitting here.
It's crazy.
I'm sitting here fighting the temptation to make the London Things question. When do you think I lost my virginity?
No, don't do that.
I'm not going to do that. Sorry.
It's not bad. The problem is this. I would assume there's a kind of really narrow answer.
Yes. So it would be a speed round. It would be a speed round. That's
what I mean. I mean, it's basically what, like 9?
Yes.
To 36?
Yeah, that's about the window, isn't it?
Right.
9. Jesus. Move on swiftly.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, Nick, you're a good-looking guy. You're a player.
Less so when I was like 11 or some shit, to be fair.
Yeah, you weren't that smooth then?
No.
That's weird.
Not remotely smooth.
King Queen, good here for 1.2 million. That was two of the chip leaders, by the way.
Yeah. Pretty nice flop, of course, with King Queen when you're the big blind.
Yeah, our chip leader, by the way, in the top left corner of your screen, at least they were the chip leader before that last hand, that's Akram 14. They hit their over $1,000 cash achievement back in October. That's still their biggest cash. So they'll make more here because they've already locked up $1,800 in bounties. So Akram 14, our chip leader, looking for their biggest score ever.
Yeah, that's the fun of these big tournaments on ACT. We always have people making their biggest score. This isn't fun for Pedro, though.
No, this is just
Fugazi flop as trademarked by Magic Mondays, where you think you flopped a winner, and actually it's just a flop that gets you to put more money in the pot when you've lost.
Yeah, and in this case, in all likelihood, it'll be Pedro's deathbed for him. It's just such a terrible flop. Ace-9 on a 9-high board when you've only got 500,000 chips. Not only is there no way you're going to get away from it, you shouldn't get away from it. You should go broke here. It's just a setup hand.
Setup hand is correct.
Pedro is worth $43 to my man. My man with 2 bounties already at the final table. And we're down to 6.
Hi, Barbie Bates in Germany. Hi, Tunda in Luxembourg. Welcome along. Hope you enjoy the show. Lots of giveaways, as David said. $109 giveaways. Big boys.
It's always interesting when the chip leaders kind of battle, and we're going to see that here. See how Arkham decides to, Akram, 14, how they combat this 3-bet. Out of position against a player that can really hurt them. I mean, without knowing these players, yeah, I was going to say, I mean, you could see a fold, you could see a 4-bet. It's sometimes you just get these interesting spots where it's kind of like, okay, you want to be the alpha dog. No, I'm going to be the alpha dog. And it's just this battle here.
Yeah, not that often you see people execute, but Arkrom, especially if there's some history, Arkrom's been unlucky here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you got to imagine, like, even when your opponent's even 3-betting with a hand as strong as ace-queen, how often does that just elicit a fold? Like, do you really want to get all your chips in with ace-queen when you've got that many chips?
Right, exactly.
So the ace-10 play is actually quite effective. You just happened to, like you said, got quite unlucky. And Paratavini is now our chip leader with over 4 million. And they're going to walk into it here with my man.
Who?
My man.
Yeah, which player?
My man.
Okay. I mean, you shouldn't even have favorites, but fine.
It's funny.
How many more times can I do that joke, by the way?
I forever.
Okay, cool.
I mean, listen, the Three Stooges made a living on it, right?
Yes, they did.
True story. When I worked for...
That's good to hear. Sorry, Dave.
When I worked at Sky Sports, and when I was living in London and working at Sky Sports as a presenter, guy I worked with who passed away, Kevin Cadle, who covered the NFL.
Yeah,
you would be familiar with him. Yeah, unfortunately, he passed away, but that was his trademark. You'd walk in the studio and you'd go, "Tuck, my man," and everybody was my man, and it's just this big old Kev made me smile when I saw that.
He must have been young when he died.
Yeah, definitely on the younger side. Yeah, especially for today's times.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. A really, really good person as well.
Yeah, he did a great job of bringing a lot of enthusiasm to the NFL coverage. He was great. So tell me, David Tuckman.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk HUDs. So on HOTA, all joking aside, we now have an inbuilt HUD. So you're playing. You can see the players at your table. We'll keep an eye on this hand. Mason is going to do something. And you can see the players on your table's VPIP, raise frequency, and 3-bet frequency, basically. So how does that change things? Tell people what they should be doing with that.
Well, I mean, I think you've got to be aware of how big the sample size is, first off.
Yep.
I'm still really curious why some players have nothing being shown and some players have some, because if this is literally just the final table,
Yeah, it is.
it's kind of meaningless.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 14 hands, 16 hands. So, I mean, I would actually say don't overreact to extremely small sample sizes.
Yeah, I think that's good advice.
Now, if you're playing in a cash game, and you're playing with the same players, and you have a much larger sample size, then knowing how active a player is and what their 3-bet frequency is and how aggressive they are, that's hugely relevant, and you can certainly start adjusting your play to that. But be aware, good players are also aware that you're going to be adjusting. So it's kind of like, well, I know you know what I know, so how do you adjust and who out adjusts each other? It's that kind of fun game of leveling in poker. So good players, I realize that if my VPIP is on the higher side and my 3-bet aggressive, 3-bet tendencies are on the higher side, and I'm a good player, I know that other good players are going to adjust to that, and I've got to be aware of that. So maybe, so it's kind of a whole thing. But as a blanket statement, I will say this one thing. Do not overreact to small sample sizes. I have seen so many players do that, and it's a huge mistake.
Good advice. Hi, Champagne Poker. Hi, Pedro. Hi, Cindy Bear. Good to see you all. Thanks for the kind words, Fist. Appreciate it. Hi, Sleepy the Old. Good to see you too. Welcome, everyone. It's a Magic Monday. On a Monday.
Yeah, and it is truly magical.
It's truly magical.
Well, it is. I mean, listen, January is over, as you mentioned, the longest month in the history of ever. And we're into February, which is most Februaries are the shortest month.
February, let's be clear, is also terrible. Thank goodness you've got Magic Mondays, because February is also just awful. But at least it's shorter, as you rightly say. And it's got the Super Bowl in it.
It can't be worse than January, can it?
It can't be worse than January.
It was funny. My wife and I went to a hot pot place. Do you know what a hot pot place is?
No.
So a hot pot place is like you cook your own food, kind of, but instead of it like a grill, everybody gets their own soup bowl, and then you can put meat or seafood or vegetables in this like bowl of soup.
Okay.
And it cooks up, and it's very, very hot. It's boiling, and but you get the flavor of that soup on the food. It's delicious. Anyway, it's traditionally Chinese, and at the end of the meal, as a gift, the waiter gave us this, like, he said, "Oh, this is lucky for the Chinese New Year. By the way, Happy New Year to those of you who celebrate. It's the year of the snake." Anyway, gave us this and said, "Put this in your house in the northern portion. It will make 2025 the best year ever." This, by the way, while we're displaced and not allowed in our house. So it did make me think, wow, after January, the rest of the year has got to be amazing then if this is going to be the best 2025 ever.
It's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Exactly. That's what I thought. Okay.
It's got 11 months to make up being displaced from your house by wildfire to you. So let's not prejudge.
Yeah, listen, exactly. You can't judge a book by its cover. It is just, my wife and I got a huge laugh because it was just like, he didn't know, obviously. And he goes, "This will make this year the best ever." And we're just laughing.
Yeah, he didn't know, but he is in California. I mean,
good point.
He's definitely taken a big swing there, hasn't he?
Good point. Yeah.
Hi, NetJam, and happy birthday for this week when it arrives.
How old are you going to be? You can also just say how old you are, and we can figure it out. We can add.
From Bezota, 3-betting, not quite back-to-back, but 2 out of the last 3 hands.
Yeah, being a little bit aggressive, why not? Only 6 players at this final table now. That's one of my kind of funny pet peeves. When somebody says, like, "Hey, how old are you?" And they're like 8 going on 9. And you just want to look at the little kid and go, "Yeah, I'm not stupid. I know how it works."
Please do that sometime. Going on 9,
just like,
right, are you? like everyone.
Jack 10 suited. Such a pretty hand. We've seen these two battle already. Last time it was ace-10 versus kings. This time the jack-10 versus 8-7. Open in the straight draw, but it doesn't have a ton of value. As obviously the 6 comes out, you're pretty happy. But if the jack comes off, you just don't know where you're at.
Yeah, I'm quite interested to see how Peravini plays this. They do call, which can't be bad.
Yeah, the king 10-9 certainly favors the pre-flop player's range as opposed to their range. Could go check now. Probably should. You don't want to get check raised here, that's for sure.
You don't. I don't hate another bet though, only because Peravini. If Peravini is very aggressive, which we're basing on a very small sample size, they pre-flop raise so many of their kings. I don't think I hate the turn bet.
Yeah, hey, listen, you deny
three bet. Sorry, I don't know what I'm talking about.
You deny your opponent equity, and it's almost never terrible to bet, right?
No, you it's a value bet a lot of the time, obviously.
Yeah.
So I definitely don't mind the turn bet with that hand.
Pocket jacks out of the small blind, going to raise to 3x. There's a call, and there's a top set. That's good hand. See how Peravini decides to play this. They're going to bet. I don't hate it. And that's one of the reasons why. I think a lot of players, you just don't realize that players float really, really light these days. They're very sticky.
Especially
and even with
blind,
top set.
Especially blind versus blind. Like, it's just, you
any pair. This was a gut shot with backdoor spades. And they're still in there. And now they've hit a 10. I always point to the simple thing of for me to slow play, I have to have a really compelling reason why. Either A, I just know my opponent loves to bluff, or I've got the board so locked up, there's nothing there. And, that would be the case on, let's say, a jack 3-3 board, where it's very unlikely my opponent has anything. But, when it's jack 7-5 and the player's in the big blinds, a lot of times you just expect them to call with a pair of 5s, a pair of 7s, a gut shot.
This is such a gross card on the river for my man, because you beat all the bluffs. You beat the one pair hands that are now trying to bet you off exactly this kind of hand. But you don't really beat any value bets. So that's probably quite a disciplined fold, but that's a pretty gross river card when you face a bet there.
Yeah, and it wasn't a huge bet, so, my man was getting a pretty good price on it. But at the same time, some of those smaller bets often look value-y, and obviously that was their thought as well. Free roll, by the way, starts in 7 minutes. Again,
lovely.
Password Feb01888, no spaces, Feb01888, $500 in cold hard cash being given away. You are watching Magic Monday. Nick Welthall, David Tuckman here.
So I'm now confused because now 2 of the players still don't have VPIPs in their indicators. Now, I can buy that Sim Team hasn't played a hand, but Titov definitely has.
Right. Well, that's why something's awry here.
Do you need a certain amount of hand? Do you need to play a certain amount of hands to get a value? Chat, you seem very knowledgeable on this. Tell us what's going on.
Top pair here for my man. Another reason why a lot of players, in a full ring game, I know a lot of players will check that back, and see my man do it as well. I don't like the check back there because the players in the big blind, they're calling you so light. You can get called by a 7. You can get called by an 8. You can get called by spades. You can get called by straight draws. All these hands that you can get called by. Now, in this case, you can argue, hey, he checked it back. The guy hit a 3 and he got paid a little bit. but that's being a little results oriented. I just like, hey, you're against the big blind. You've got top pair. It's just the best hand so often. Just bet it for value.
So David Lime tells me that probably what's happened is that there's the replayer isn't showing a couple of the stats rather than there being a problem on 888, obviously, which makes a lot of sense. It's a new thing.
It's a replay issue.
The replayer takes a while to get used to things, you know.
Yeah, it makes sense. The replayer is stuck in their ways. It's like an old stodgy man.
Andy Rednick says the HUD is amazing. It counts all the hands from the start of the MTT.
Oh, see, that's far more relevant than just final table.
Well, I don't understand that. It doesn't show you. So you join a table and it shows you all of the hands somebody's played? No, surely not.
I mean, why not? Why can't it show somebody's VPIP from the start of the tournament?
Yeah, it can, but why would it?
Put everybody on even footing.
Well,
I mean, you would arrive to the new table.
It turns everyone into Jesus.
Oh, not really. Again, I always point to, cool, so you arrive at my table, Nick, right? And let's say you're... Yes, hi, Nick. So you arrive at my table, Nick.
That was me arriving.
Right. Hello.
Lovely to see you, Dave. Excited
lovely
to play
see
some
you,
poker
Nick.
with you.
And I look at your HUD and I see that you're at 28. Wow, that's pretty high. I see that your 3-bet frequency is pretty high. You look at mine and you see mine is 12. Okay. We're on even footing. And now, who's going to out-adjust the other player?
Well, me. I'll out-adjust you, definitely.
Obviously, but... Paravino, by the way, has picked up kings seems like 14 times. I think it's only twice, but it feels like a lot.
Yeah. Ron Gooder says the HUD also tells you how to make a hot Slurpee.
Ooh. What is a hot Slurpee?
I don't know. I'm interested.
Slurpees in America are like slushies. They're a
hot Slurpee sounds like phrasing. Sounds like
a
euphemism.
That's a good point. I don't know what a hot Slurpee is. My kids love cold Slurpees. You can get them at 7-Eleven.
When did you have your first hot Slurpee? Lawton thinks. No, nothing. It's not
that. Magic Monday. Paravini going to keep betting. And sixes go in the muck. Paravini, by the way, now up to over 5 million, 5.3 million. Starting to pull away a little bit. Bombasto, or Bombasta, at 3.5 million. There's the all-in. I think they might get called by the ace-10 on the button.
Yeah, I mean, it's less than 4 big blinds. And Titov is the next shortest stack, so it feels like a no-brainer call, doesn't it?
Well, and you've got to also factor in that the player under the gun, usually you give players under the gun a little more credit for a hand, but in this case, the under the gun player had to realize they fold. Wow, the under the gun player knows they're in the big blind next, so I don't think they needed a very strong hand to make the shove. And can they get lucky on the river? They cannot. Jack on the turn eliminates Sim Team 75. So we're down to 5, Sim Team 75. Worth $43.61 to Acrom 14. Sim Team, by the way, for 6th place with their bounties will take home, I'll say about $1,900.
Thanks for the raid, Elron. We appreciate it. Hope you had a good stream.
Ooh, thank you. Much appreciated. You know what I mean? It's always funny how we think players in the under the gun spot are really, really tight. And I think for the most part, that's true. Except when they're severely short stacked, because now they're looking at it going, well, I've got to play this hand or the next hand. So if they see a king, an ace, anything connected, they're probably going to go with it. So ace-10 is just way ahead of that person's range.
It's just way ahead of the 3.5 big blind shove range, isn't it?
100%.
But there we are. That's gone. And so is Sim Team.
So we're down to 5. 2 of the 5, by the way, are ready to talk deal. Will we start February off with a deal? Could it happen?
Have you seen the viral clip of the reporter in Chicago talking about February?
No.
Oh, I'll send it to you after. It's very, very funny. Has
Okay.
anyone seen it, chat? He literally wanders around February saying how desperate February is and how awful it is. It's that he's an actual news reporter. It's very funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I send it to my family every February. Actually, I haven't sent it yet. Make a note of that. It's important. Put it on my work calendar. Send funny February vid.
There you go. You got to put that in there. Other exciting news for the week, by the way, not only obviously 88's Magic Mondays kicking off this February, but as you mentioned earlier, the Super Bowl just a handful of days away. By the time we talk next, Nick, there will be a Super Bowl winner. It'll either be the Kansas City Chiefs or the Eagles from Philadelphia. Who do you have?
Would it be the Kansas City Chiefs or the team that's won the honor to lose to the Kansas City Chiefs in this year's exciting iteration?
Yeah, the Eagles are the one team that's kind of been able to like knock off the champs before. I mean, they've beaten the Patriots.
In the weirdest Super Bowl ever, by the way.
Right, but if the Eagles could beat the Patriots and the Chiefs in a short term, you might look at them and be like, "Wow, they're just monster killers in that sense." Like being able to knock off two of the best teams ever.
I don't understand the line. That's my comment.
The Chiefs are -1 or -1.5, depending on where you're looking. You like the Chiefs?
I do.
I assume. Yeah.
I don't really understand it. I understand. So I know the analytics models have the two teams quite close together, but you've got to give some. There's got to be some allowance for the fact that it's the Chiefs, right? Like they blatantly don't use their full playbook during the season. Mahomes doesn't scramble at all during the season. Like they. I don't know. I feel like the line's too short, but that's me. That's my opinion.
Top pair here versus a pair of jacks with the jack of spades.
With the spade.
Yeah, I got a fair fight here. The one thing that I have learned throughout my life of football sports betting is that more often than not, there's a spade. The line is usually, I mean, the market's just too big for the line to be wrong. So if you don't understand it, it's usually like, whenever I see a line that's like, this doesn't make any sense. The other side of it, I go, okay, well.
It's literally what all of the analytics models have the two teams as. So I totally understand the line.
I mean, if the public is going on the Chiefs, then the sharps are probably on the Eagles to keep it there, right? Because the line moves with the numbers. Wherever the money is flowing, the line is gonna stay there. I mean, that's all a bookie wants to do. A bookie wants to obviously they want to get 50% of the money on each side, and they guarantee their take. So if you think the public is on the Chiefs, then that means the sharps are on the Eagles, and you might want to go with the Eagles.
I just don't think there are any sharps.
No sharps. Wow.
Not really.
When it comes to the NFL, you might be right, especially in the Super Bowl.
It's just like it's a completely coin toss betting proposition, isn't it? I don't think anyone's making money on sides on the NFL. I don't think anyone's beating the VIG on sides on the NFL.
The Super Bowl, the Super Bowl especially. I mean, you're talking about the most overanalyzed game ever.
You can definitely. I don't. It's not my area at all. But you can definitely make money on Super Bowl props. You definitely can because.
The VIG's so high on those, though.
Because the public money. Praveen's probably going to call this.
Yeah, it's another 750,000. Yeah, they are going to make the call. King, queen. There's a king. Not going to help them. They need a queen here. Only a queen. That is not a queen. Ace, king holds, and a full double up. Tito has not played many hands, but hey, if you win the ones to play, you're in good shape. And that kind of evens out the field, by the way, because Paravini was pulling away. But with that, you look at the field now, and it's 3.5, 3.5, 3.4, 1.9, 2.5. Really anybody's tournament at this point.
Yeah, they're also quite deep because we're playing 40,000, 80,000. So you've got 4 players over 40 big blinds here.
I mean, our short stack has over 20.
Right. So there's some play at the moment.
And I'm assuming since the mayor of Tickettown has not announced a ticket giveaway, That's telling.
No, well, we need to do it. Let's do a
okay.
secret giveaway. That was my next scripted item.
Amazing. How many of you in the chat, by the way, think Nick has a script?
Of course, David.
I'm just asking. I mean, I know, but I'm just curious if everybody else realized that you had a script that you worked on extensively before each show.
Yeah. I mean, it cuts into my weekend every week, but I don't care because I love the show. So
the dedication is admirable.
Dedication is real. It's tangible. That said, I haven't got a question. Have you got a question?
I got a question for you.
Excellent. Okay, so let's do a lot of things, except it's what does Nick think? And if you haven't played, I noticed we've got some new chatters. You're very, very welcome. Good to see you. And so very, very quickly, the rules are you're trying to guess what I will answer the question David asked me. So it's a guess. Climb inside my brain. What do I think? Google does not help you here. Neither does ChatGPT or any other. My AI does. If you find my AI, that'll help you, but the rest don't. You get one guess per player. Do not duplicate. Line will kick you out of the contest. She also says when the contest is closed. Very, very simple. You can play on YouTube chat or Twitch chat. Best of luck. David, what is the question for me and chat?
Okay, well, I'm going to ask you this in pounds. Do you know pounds?
The weight?
Yes.
The weight. Pounds, the weight. Okay, yeah. We can do that.
So we're going to do pounds.
European viewers may struggle, but
they might. You know what? I'll throw this out there. It is 1 kilo to 2.2 pounds. I'm going to give that up, okay? 1 kilo to 2.2 pounds, but I'm going to make it pounds just to make it a larger answer. So I had the most wonderful experience yesterday after my son's hockey game. We went to my wife volunteers at a wolf sanctuary where they rescue wolves, and they live there. And because of all the pain we've had in January, the wolf sanctuary decided to bring up my entire family so we could kind of hang out with the wolves and go hiking with them and be with them. And it was really just like it was soup for the soul, so to speak. It was wonderful, really a great day. I ask you this because these wolves are magnificent creatures, and they're quite big. They're much bigger than you'd ever imagine until you get next to one. What is the average North American wolf weigh in pounds, Nick Welthall? What does the average American wolf weigh?
Great question.
Thank you. And by the way, I highly recommend spending some time with wolves. Make sure you're there with a trained person so you don't get eaten or bitten. But yeah, soup for the soul. It was a wonderful day.
Just writing down, spend time with wolves. So how many pounds
does the average North American wolf weigh?
Just trying to think. I'm thinking about...
You think?
Not Game of Thrones, because those ones were not the real size, were they? They were big ones. Smaller than that. I'm more of like a Disney wolf. Sort of thigh high.
The answers are quite vast, which is I'm enjoying, which is why I said pounds. I thought kilos might be too narrow. Oops, set of sevens here. I like the set of sevens. Oh, and unfortunately, Tito is out in 5th place. That is Tito Surge, who's been, by the way, at our final tables before the stream. This is their second final table of the year. They finished 4th in their last one, 5th in this one. They've locked up $814 in bounties and $2,200 in 5th place money. So all in over $3,000 for Tito Surge. And we're down to 4. The remaining 4 players guaranteed $2,988. Real money. But we lost our short stack. Now none of the players are short. So we could be in for a long 4-handed battle. We'll see how this plays out. Nick's answer is in.
My answer is in. You can play on YouTube or Twitch, but you can only play once. So you can't have 2 guesses on one on each platform. That would be very unethical. And you'll be eaten by wolves if you do that. two prizes, two $109 prizes. Get your guesses in. What is the average weight of the American wolf? What do I think it is? Good luck with that.
Good luck. Good luck. Yeah, listen, I'm going to come out and say it. Nick Wealthall knows more about wolves than he does about space.
I think that's probably a fair comment.
There you go.
Yeah,
Jack
space,
10 out of
the
9.
problem I have with the space questions is that space is too big. So, how can you revise it all? You can't. Wolves, very straightforward. There's a wolf, right? What do I need to know about it? Space, it's like 3 weeks or something it would take to learn everything about that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and let's be honest. Do we even know everything about it? I mean, do we know?
Oh, now you tell me that now. You didn't tell me when you were asking me the question. we didn't even know, turns out.
Nice turn card here for Paravini, who already had the best hand now as the Ace of Hearts as well. I like checking here. Kind of keep the pots a little bit smaller. Bombasta 69. Gonna give up on this one, it looks like. If there was one more card coming out, they'd be in really good shape because they've rivered a straight flush draw.
They're getting there, aren't they? They just didn't start their effort early enough.
Right.
It's like every work project I've ever had.
Paravini thinking, do I need to bluff at this? Can I bluff at it? And they're going to go for it. Wow, 1.6 million into 1.2. They're going to use that Ace of Hearts and put a lot of pressure on their opponent.
It does sort of feel like when I watch poker these days that when people have a ace of the flush suit, they're also almost on auto bluff mode.
Dare I say, I think it's overused in Hold'em.
That's what I meant.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
like
what I'm saying.
In PLO, it makes sense. Like, if you have the Ace of Hearts in that spot and it's PLO, it's just really, really hard to call you even with any other flush.
Yeah, I mean, this is like against a button opener, so who's like decently aggressive in four-handed poker. So they're heading to the flop with, I don't know, 40% plus of hands. So the fact that you remove the Ace of Hearts and the fact that there's a heart flush on the board is not, they bet they bet the flop and check the turn, didn't they? I mean, don't know. It seems like not crazy relevant in that spot, is it?
Right, and when you bet more than pot, you're pretty much saying I've got the flush or nothing. Right. Yeah, no, I tend to agree with you, and I think four-handed as well. Four-handed, I don't really care. Like, I'm not folding top pair a lot. I'm certainly not folding two pair. I'm never folding a flush. You're gonna have to show me the ace high, the flush, the bigger flush. Straight draw here for Arkram. 14 does not get there. Ace 10 holding. And this 2.2 million chip pot, this should get Paravini back up over 5 million. I'm going to understand, but I do think my guess would be that in today's day and age, more people are playing PLO and No Limit, and they're taking that play into No Limit games. Really? And it certainly makes sense, but...
Well, it makes sense in certain spots, but it's not. It's a bit like saying, always bet top pair. This is like sometimes you should bet top pair and sometimes you shouldn't bet top pair and sometimes you check raise top pair. It's like it's a tool in your arsenal, but you can't. And by the way, I don't know Paravini's game at all, and I haven't analysed that spot properly. So I'm just saying in general, it's not like an auto bluff. You can't play like that in Hold'em.
And I also suggest that the huge bet on the river, and again, I'm in the same boat as you with Paravini, but this huge bet on the river, like, what are you targeting? Like, in theory, we should be balanced there, right? We should be bluffing sometimes when we go 1.25x pot, and we should be, value betting occasionally, right? But the problem is when your opponent puts a c-bet out there on the flop and then checks back turn, what are we trying to get value from? Like, if you actually had the ace high flush and your opponent checked back the turn, basically telling you they didn't have the flush and they don't have a suit.
Well, you mean what they're trying to get to fold is what you mean, because they're turning their hand into a bluff, aren't they?
No, absolutely. But I'm just thinking, well, in theory, we should be balanced. So if they're trying to turn their hand into a bluff, then in theory, they'd also be trying to get value in that spot occasionally.
They would. But I mean, who's balanced in this day and age?
Balance.
Balance, pick a lane. Do you fancy giving away some prizes?
I do. I love that. That's what I want to do more than anything.
Nice. Chat wants it too. What did you ask me again? I can't remember.
Well, I asked you how many pounds the average North American wolf weighed. What's your answer, and how'd you come up with it?
Well, I came up with it by conceptualizing what it would be like to pick one up. Now, I realise that is probably a really bad idea.
King Queen wins.
I was thinking about picking up next door's dog, which I know weighs 3 stone, which is like 42 pounds.
Right. Yep. Yes.
And I thought, like, how does that compare to a wolf? I think it's roughly double Henry next door.
Henry, what kind of dog is Henry, by the way?
Pardon?
What kind of dog is Henry?
He's a mongrel dog. He's a crossbreed, but he's got mostly Staffy in him, black Staffy. So he's got that beautiful Staffy head.
Right.
Everyone loves Henry. And so I think a wolf is 2 Henrys. That's how I came up with it.
2 Henrys.
And my answer is 84 pounds. 2 Henrys, 84 pounds.
Exactly right. In fact, I know you guys use stones, use kilos, use pounds. In America, to measure wolves' weight and size, they actually use the Henry.
Yes.
Some wolves get as big as 3.5 Henrys. Some wolves are only like maybe 1 3/4 Henrys, but that's how they use it. It's brilliant. I can't believe you came up with that.
Well,
yes, 2 Henrys is exactly right. 84 pounds.
What I do, really. the Henry scale of measurement.
Yeah, well, if you answered 84 pounds or near 84 pounds, you might have won. Nobody said 84 pounds, but we do have 2 people that were 1 off. One is Sweet Bonanza. That's right, sweetie. Sweet Bonanza said 83. And No Money Player said 85. Congratulations to both of you. Honorable mentions to Dower Donnie and Touch 9, but not close enough. So congratulations, Sweet Bonanza and No Money Player. You have just won. Make sure you pay attention to your whispers so our amazing moderator, Lime Ricky, can get a hold of you and get you your ticket.
Nicely done. Good question, David. What is the real answer, by the way, in this famously wrong Google /sanctuary you actually went to world?
Yeah, you're probably not way off. I mean, I think the average is probably closer to about 110 pounds or so, 105.
Is it really?
Yeah, but they have different variations of wolves. So, depending on what, I mean, there are some wolves that are like 75, 80 pounds. Some can get to a little bigger than that, but probably closer to about 110.
2.5 Henrys would be.
Exactly, 2.5 Henrys.
Okay.
But that's just Google. What does Google know?
I'm going to tell Henry next time I see him.
And they're just these tall. They're really tall, and they have giant heads.
Really?
Yeah.
Are they very,
Jawy.
Yeah.
Yeah, very jawy.
I mean, they're stunning, aren't they? We cleverly in Europe hunted them to extinction, so that was a good idea. So yeah.
Well, I mean, you had livestock, and wolves like to eat livestock. I get it.
That's true.
I understand.
Actually, what we did was we turned them into Labradors, and they now live in our lounges, which is even better.
Yeah, we have the Labradors, and we still have the wolves, but we don't have a lot of them. But anyway, shout out to this amazing sanctuary that does have 22 wolves there.
And heads up for the second part, my question to David won't be as good as or as interesting as that one.
Oh,
so it's not get hyped.
I was excited about the warm Slurpee.
Yes, well, that's not featuring.
No. Pocket nines for our friend over there on the left. It is Bombasta 69. Paravini, by the way, has gotten the chip lead, given it back, and now once again, kind of right neck and neck. This time with my man. And Paravini gets aggressive. I imagine if you're 3-betting ace-4, it's 2-fold. And they do fold. I like the 3-bet. I also like the fold.
Playing 5100. So we haven't got big blinds today, but this is the level that you can all play at home and do big blinds. It's like just
Yeah,
fun.
it's easy.
It's easy. They should just keep it at this.
Well, we might be here longer then. You haven't thought this through, have you?
No, I haven't. But I just I keep trying to do things for an easy life, and it gets more complicated.
Now, if they jump from 5100 to 100-200,
that would be fine.
Right to 500,000 million.
I'd probably urge. I was going to say. I'd probably urge them to go 500,000 a million after this, to be honest. But it's up to them.
They can do what they want.
I used to have 56 big blinds. Now I've got 5.6.
Fox Force says a friend said whose name is a Wolfgang, so he should know the weight of an American wolf is up to 200 pounds. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are wolves that are that big. That would be the average wolf is not nearly that big.
Pounds.
No, the average wolf is way smaller than that.
That wolf would take over North America.
Yeah. That wolf ate another wolf.
How could anything stand against it? That could eat a tank.
I mean, that's like saying like the largest. That's like saying, okay, who's the largest human in weight, right? And then thinking that that's even close to the average. No.
Right.
Like, what does the average man weigh? 180 pounds?
I don't actually know. That's a good question. That's going to vary from country to country a lot, isn't it?
Of course. But I mean, if you were to do that and then say who's the heaviest man, it's not even close.
The average American
human man
weigh. Hang on, hold, please, caller, stand by.
What is it to be American?
Jesus, you've got issues. Stop eating America.
Yeah, as if this is the only issue we had.
It's 199.8 pounds is the average weight of the American male.
I am under.
And the average height is 5'7.5". So you're 5'7.5" and you weigh 200 pounds.
Wait, the average height is 5'7.5"?
Right.
And the average weight is 200 pounds?
Right.
That's crazy. What is the average weight and height of a British man?
This is from the CDC. Honestly, you people need an intervention.
We certainly do. I think you're right. And by the way, not just for that. Other things also. But I digress. Wait, Nick, I'm curious, and we are following the poker. Don't worry, folks. King high versus queen high. Nothing exciting, nothing to see. What's the average height and weight of a British man?
The average British male is 2.5 inches taller.
What?
This must be the American average height. Must be wrong. That can't be right. What I said.
Well, maybe a lot of short people somewhere. I don't know. I keep going.
Wait. No, the height. Our average height is not 5'10". That's absolute nonsense. What I've just read there.
Well, 2.5 inches.
Internet, get better.
It seems like whether ours is wrong or yours is wrong, 2.5 inch difference seems crazy.
Yours was from the CDC, so yours is definitely right. What I told you for yours is definitely right.
Okay.
So, be afraid.
Well, I mean, I should be. I actually feel great about myself. I am a full 3 inches taller than the average man and 20 pounds lighter.
Britain's average male weight is 11, nearly 12 pounds less than the average American weight.
180. Okay, 187-ish. Okay.
Yeah.
And what's the height?
I can't get that. Wait a minute. From a reliable source. So the weight comes from the NHS, so that's going to be reliable. And the height is 5'9", so we are taller.
You're taller and thinner.
Yeah.
Oh.
And sexier.
I mean, to be in worse shape than British people, that's
it's just terrible, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, because it's raining 9 months of the year for you guys.
I know, but at some point we step away from the ribs. Do you know what I mean? Whereas you guys
guess so.
Never step away from the ribs.
What's the average height and weight of somebody from the Netherlands? I would imagine like 6'4", 6'4", 150.
They're the tallest country in the world, the Netherlands.
Yeah.
I don't know what the average weight is. This is what you tuned in for, isn't it? And if it isn't, you're in the wrong stream, to be honest.
Yeah, no, this is amazing. Leo Gugget does point out that fast food is 24/7. Yes, it is. And I genuinely believe fast food is poison. Password, by the way, for the free roll, which has started. Registration is still open for another 10 minutes. Password is FEB01888. Once again, FEB01888. No spaces. That gets you into the free roll. We're giving away $500 in cold hard cash. By the way, we are going to a break any moment.
Important
come
information
back-
before the break.
Yeah, more,
Dutch
please.
men are 187 pounds on average.
Yeah, but 6'9"?
The tallest in the world at 5'11" on average.
Oh, shorter than I thought.
But I don't have a source for this. I'm just saying what the Google AI tells me, and they've never lied to me. So.
Right. Well, the internet's never wrong.
Nope. Is this a call? Yes, it is.
It's a
Double up
call.
potential.
Possibly. Oh, wait a second. Jack? No, the nine of diamonds on the
dirty.
river. And the ace queen does hold. Akram 14, doubling up to 1.9 million. Bombasta 69, back down to 1.9 million as well. Our chip leader still, Paravini, on 6.3 million, has been very aggressive, but has picked their spots very well.
Yeah, everything's gone right at the final table for them so far, but they're not home yet.
Yeah, well, they did that great play with the Ace of Hearts that you love so much. More of that, more of the antics when we come back.
Hey guys, I'm Ian Simpson, and today I am super excited to announce that 888 Poker will now have a HUD or heads-up display built into our software. Whenever you're seated at the table, you'll be able to hover over your opponent's avatar or your own and get some vital statistics about them. You'll be able to see their VPIP, their PFR, their 3-bet, and where they're from. So how do we put this information to work? Let's say you've opened and the button 3-bets. Well, you can hover over your opponent's avatar and see their 3-bet statistic. And here we can see that it's only 4. Now that's actually really small. You can go ahead and safely fold your marginal hand, knowing that they're only 3-betting a very narrow range and they likely have a much better hand than yours. In this scenario, our opponent has a PFR, short for pre-flop raise, of just 10%. That means they're playing a very narrow selection of hands. That means we have to be a little more cautious when dealing with them, as we are likely facing a very strong hand. Jumping over to this spot on the final table of a tournament, we can hover our mouse over our opponent's avatar and see their tournament winnings. We can see this player only has $114 worth of winnings, whereas this player has $140,000 worth of tournament winnings. Now, this doesn't tell the whole picture, but it is indicative of how much experience our opponents have. And finally, in this scenario, we can see our opponent has a VPIP, which stands for voluntarily put in pot, of 40%. Now, that number is really high. Our opponent is playing far too many hands. So when we raise pre-flop, they call, and we get this flop, we can bluff a lot more liberally. That's because our opponent is going to have far too many weaker hands that are just going to have to automatically fold to our bet. As you can see, having access to this information can be a real game changer. It can be a big help when making the decisions you're going to have to make at the tables. Give it a try for yourself. Let me know what you think. Tell me which stack you think is the most helpful. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our great content. Thanks for watching, and good luck at the tables.
Any hearts about, ladies and gentlemen?
Big old 17 outs now, though, for Jordan, and 1 in 3 shots to become champion.
Quite a few times.
Kartik's all in with 6-4 offsuit on the cutoff. I have to say, Tower, I'm not sure about this one.
6-4 in the glove.
This seems a little bit loose. He's still got 10 bigs. I mean, we'll probably end up calling here, I imagine. It's just too far
He's
ahead.
made the call.
It's too far ahead of range,
Yeah.
and you'll see just how far ahead of range it is when Kartik flips over 6-4 offsuit,
Yep.
and he gets the
You've caught me, he says.
pants firmly round the ankles here for Kartik, but 40%.
He's live. 6-4, he's live.
Oh, it's a good start.
Flopper 4.
Up to 76% for Kartik, who begins pulling his jeans around to the knee area. Oh, he can pull them all the way up, Tower.
Tell you what, he's fastened the belt.
He has it.
He's fastened the belt and he's pulled it even tighter. He's got quads.
Wow.
Love it.
Could we get all in
Yeah,
here?
should be. All in Dan, cool Joan, you expect?
Yeah. And we would have seen the same result had Joan shoved, but as it is, Dan gets to apply what he assumes is chunks of pressure, and Joan has a very simple call with one of the strongest hands you can hope to have five-handed. Here it comes.
Yeah, she's got a call here. I can't see how she'd ever fold. Like, Dan going to shove worse ace-x, going to shove king-queen, queen-jack suited. A lot of stuff we dominate.
I mean, we've surely opened this to get attacked.
Yeah, there
comes
we go.
call.
Let's find it. So, are we going to be at the final table, guys? Is this the hand?
Here's a flop. And more outs for Joan.
Yeah, keep it high, dealer. Ace, king, and queen all working.
Yeah, lots and lots of outs here. How about a 9?
Oh!
How about a
You
9?
feeling all right? He still calls the
Right,
nine.
let me go again. Ready? King.
So Easty calls the king, and ace, queen, or 8 would do as well. Oh my word! Are you feeling all right? What?
You're welcome, Joan. I'm just saying, you're
What on earth was that?
Raj ace 4. Shoves the small.
Yep.
Very good. Should play well against most small blind jams, four-handed. Five-handed, sorry. And in it goes.
Yeah, it's a good call. It's a good call by Joe.
In it goes. Jack Queen.
She sees
Live.
the ace 4, but like even against a raggy ace tower, we're
Yeah.
basically flipping most
Yeah,
of the time.
absolutely.
Well,
45%.
45% here.
45% of the time she wins the hand. Jack on the flop. There we go. Big chance to double. Oh, the ace on the turn.
That is ridiculous. You think you've got there. You
Now needs any paint to survive.
think king, queen, jack.
And it is not. Joan hits the flop, but very unlucky. The eliminated had to go with that for 6.5. Had to. Well played.
Yes, we're back. The moment you've all been waiting for. The exciting conclusion of Magic Monday. Should it end during this level, we'll see how it plays out. 4 players remain, each vying for nearly 5 figures up top. Still a $500 bounty in play as well, which starts to become a little bit relevant at this point with only 4 players in.
I was pretty busy during the break, David.
Yes.
I went next door and picked up Henry just to confirm the weight, and then I came back and I fixed the big blinds display on the final table. So,
Wow.
yeah, I used my time effectively.
It's amazing how much you accomplish when you put your mind to it.
Catching Fire says, so much better seeing the stacks in blinds. You're absolutely welcome, Catching Fire. At least I could do for the chat that I love.
I feel like this is 2 shows in a row, by the way, where like 70% of the way into the show, we switch to big blinds. Kind of warms us up, makes us do a little maths, and then...
Maybe it's that. Maybe they're like, they can do maths for a bit, but then they get sleepy and they're not very good at it in the first place. So we'd need to put big blinds up.
Well, you can take a look here. It's kind of the haves and have-nots. You've got the 2-chip leaders with who are combined for about 95 big blinds, almost 100, and the other 2 players on 13 and 14. I kind of like this bet here by my man. Their hand by itself has very little value, but every time your opponent misses, or in that case, pocket 3s, just very hard to continue. And your hand does have some equity. Battle of the clubs here, Ace 8 versus King 6. I imagine you'll see a flop, unless, of course, my man wants to 3-bet. Is there a world where Paravini 4-bets this? This could get interesting.
The 2 big stacks, showing off their big stacks. Perry
Yes.
says no. Perry says no. It's fine. You want it that much. You want my 2 big blinds that much, you take my 2 big blinds.
And that's kind of I think that's creates kind of an interesting dynamic. The player on your left, who has the second most chips, was able to 3-bet you off a hand like that. I thought maybe Paravini would kind of play back and 4-bet. We did not see that. It does make me like the Ace 10 3-bet even more from Akram 14. It didn't work out in that case because Paravini had kings, but you see them not kind of fighting back in that spot. I want to thank you all for spending your Monday afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you might be in the world. Thanks for being here with us on Magic Monday. Nick Welthall, David Tuckman, covering courtesy of 8-8 Poker.
Oh, yeah. Make sure you're in the free roll. You got about 4 minutes left, I think, to jump in the free roll. $500 in there, David.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. I'm assuming since you're here, you either love poker or you find one of us incredibly attractive. It's probably both. So based on that, why not play a free roll? It's poker. It's fun. You might win some money. And hey, if we're still here and you're making money, we'll give you a shout out.
True story.
Yep, across the board. Flush draw versus a pair of sixes. Now a pair of kings and a flush draw versus just a pair of sixes. My man definitely likes to check back a lot more when they have something. And if I was playing against a player like my man, if I was playing against a player like that, I'd actually be check raising them when they put C-bets out there a lot more often. That would be my adjustment toward that. If I knew, when I find out that a player likes to check back when they have like hands, marginal hands, even top pair, no kicker, if they're betting, they just don't have something a lot. We might get action here though. Oh my,
No.
wow, the ace-3 does not call.
Yeah, because Bombazota doesn't want to gamble when there's a shorter stack, basically.
But it's not that much shorter.
I know, but it's just the way it goes, isn't it, psychologically for players?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, there is about an $1,100 difference between fourth and third, which is not insignificant.
That's not psychological. You can actually take that money and buy
Right.
goods and services.
It's not a psychological $1,100.
No.
Oh, we might get some action here, though. Yep, there's the open.
Shocking news from the chat,
Yes.
which is that Chip Taker finds us both attractive, as does Jamogi, but they've never had high standards. So story checks out there.
Yeah.
It doesn't do to have high standards in life, does it? Why would you set up your reality so that you're so often disappointed? Have low
No.
standards, be constantly amazed and delighted.
I mean, I often go back to the great movie, The Matrix. And you think about, you taking the two pills.
Sure.
And the fact that there were people fighting to take the pill, like not take the pill and see reality. I'm like, why would you do that? No, give me the pill. Right?
Which pill do you want?
Perception is reality. I don't remember the colors anymore. I don't remember which one's which. I want the one where
You don't want to see reality. You want to be
No.
closeted in your wolf pack, just roaming the hills there.
Listen,
idyllically.
if I don't know, then perception is reality. If I can eat the filet mignon and the T-bone steaks and the lobsters and live in a gorgeous house and the gorgeous wife and the gorgeous car and the beautiful perfect children, yeah, sign me up.
It's all perception. If a hiker is eaten by wolves in the forest and no one's there to see it, did it even happen?
Exactly. Thank you, Nick. You get me.
Yeah.
You see me.
I understand.
Well, I understand there's going to be action here. We're going to get a raise. We're going to get an all-in. And the thing will be, somebody's going to call. Paravini's in an interesting spot because they have to worry about the player behind them. But I think Ace-Jack's just too strong a hand not to at least call. Yeah, they're going to call, and it's Ace-Jack versus eights. There's an ace. There's an eight.
House
Oh.
hand. It's the house hand.
Yep, apropos. The trip eights, the set of eights on the turn. And we get a full double up.
All the other players are absolutely thrilled to see.
Yeah.
So happy
Well,
for
my
you.
man is now up to 51.5 big blinds. Paravini on 38 big blinds, still second place. See if my man wants to be a little aggressive. Now that they've got a little bit of distance between them and Paravini. They're going to get a call, though. Not a bad flop for 7-5. Still just 7 high, but the open in the straight draw. And more importantly, their opponent missed. When playing poker, by the way, I highly recommend when you don't have anything, you want your opponent to miss. And when you have the nuts, you want your opponent to have like a really, really good hand.
Yeah, that is a writer downer, kids.
Yeah.
That's gold.
It's so like that's the part of poker that's so random and so crazy. It's like I've got a huge hand, your opponent's got nothing. And the times when you've got a huge hand and your opponent's got just a really good second best hand. And for some reason you think that's skill. And it's like, no, that's luck. Just a ton of variance.
Yeah, there's a lot of chips change hands in situations where if you swap the hands over, the same things would happen. Just they would go in the other direction.
Right.
Now, this sets up quite well for my man because last time around, my man 3-bet Peravini in exactly this spot. And now they have the monster hand and Peravini has an ace. So let's see if he gets suckered in. No, still no.
No, I'm going to let that go.
Just still no incentive to play with the big stack.
Now, if you're a my man and you have now seen Peravini fold to 3-bets twice, I might just find a couple of other spots where I can do it now, right? I don't want to get carried away, but I might just find a couple other spots to kind of do it so that I can set them up for when I have it. Or maybe I just keep picking up chips for free. That works too.
All in from our Crom there, and my man quickly folds. So that's also instructive for a Crom. Spills everything. So sorry, I had to leave. What was the guess for the average wolf weight? I love the concept that somebody has walked away from the show 20 odd minutes ago, but still wants to know the wolf weight.
Yeah, and what I love about it is the fact that this person clearly, who is this again? This is Spills.
Everything.
Yeah, I love that. Spills everything, by the way. You are our kind of people, okay? The fact that you come back, you're not interested in how they got down to four-handed or who got eliminated in 6. No, you want to know the average wolf weight. It was 84 pounds or 2 Henrys.
The answer was 2 Henrys. Spills everything. And if you want that explained, you're going to have to watch the VOD.
Right. They are, hey, listen, all of our shows are recorded and archived. You can watch them at your leisure. If you ever miss one, well, you've missed pure gold. So make sure you watch them all. And tell your friends about it.
Peravini changing gears here a bit. Hasn't tangled with my man until now. And it works. They'll get encouraged. They've stopped the bleeding a bit.
Yeah. Did they just check raise that flop? Or no?
They did. They check raised.
Yeah. So notice how my man bet the flop and didn't have anything. And when they check, they have something.
David's all over this.
It's
you're going to have to adjust. When you play David Tupman, you're going to have to adjust, my man. I'm
just pointing out that it's a common thing. I remember Antonio Esfandiari actually talked about this during commentary at the World Series of Poker. It's probably several years old, but there was kind of this common thing where like players were so happy to check back their like good, not great hands, so that when they c-bet, they just didn't have it very often because they weren't c-betting enough when they actually had it. Like it was like they only c-bet when they had a monster or nothing, and it's hard to have monsters. Yeah,
I would say now that people just check flops too much.
Yeah,
in my opinion. But
yeah, so as I'm saying, so when they bet, they just don't have. It's like they're just heavily skewed toward. Well, I have to bet here because I don't have any showdown value.
Well, they're polarized. A lot of players are polarized, I think, when they bet flops.
Right. So I mean, yeah. I maintain. I'm like, I think players are so sticky in the big blinds. Like, if I have a hand, I'm going to be betting for value a ton on the flop. And if I'm checking back, a lot of times I'm checking back the turn, not the flop. Depending on how the hand is played out and what I want to achieve and accomplish. But anyway, what these players want to accomplish is first place. They want to take home nearly 5 figures. By the way, the $10,000 bounty, that's been out of play. Mortisi finished in 18th and walked away with nearly $11,000 in bounties. Well done, them.
Last Tuesday when we had $100,000 bounty.
I haven't
absolutely mind-blowing, isn't it?
Yeah, I haven't stopped thinking about it.
$100,000 bounty for playing cards on the internet.
We had 2 players in an online tournament win over 100K. One person won like 160 and one won like 145. Like, it was just crazy.
Very good 2 days work.
Yeah. Trip 8's here. See if my man can grow this pot. They've obviously got Paravini drawing dead.
Yeah, blind versus blind, I don't hate a check back here. I think that it is the right conditions to slow play. It's actually Paravini has one of the few hands that will call you.
Right, but you don't know that, though.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
every time-
I don't hate a check back.
Well, you induce some bluffs there. It's not a terrible play at all. Did you bet the turn, and now they bet the river?
So this has actually worked out because this bet on this ace makes no sense whatsoever. It just looked like a bluff because
Right.
there was no pre-flop action. So this just looks so bluffy, they might actually get a call.
Yeah, that's the thing. I tend to agree with you. I mean, they do get the call. Look at that.
So that
Look at
worked
this.
out perfect.
Yeah, my man really planned that well. He probably knew what the turn card and river was going to be. I'm kidding.
Exactly.
66 big blinds for my man, and Paravini now down to 22 big blinds. My man can really be aggressive here. They're at a solid 27 VPIP, by the way. Should we
Very
do a
solid.
keyword giveaway?
Yeah, we're going to do a keyword giveaway, Dave Tuckman. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to
We've got
overstep
more
my
tickets to
boundaries.
give. We've got 3 more $109 tickets to give before or when this ends. And then after that, we've got 2 more to give on the Poker Wheel of Justice, which if you're a new viewer, you need to stick around and watch because it's amazing and you'll want to be on it next week. Trust me.
Yeah.
No one has ever watched it and then not wanted to be on it next week. But for now, we'll do a keyword giveaway for one $109 ticket. How does that sound?
I think it sounds amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
I was thinking for the keyword, I could use a hug, but Lime said the hug was no good. So instead, we're going to go with something different, right?
Sure. Lime, is the keyword ready? It should be Henry Chip Taker, but it isn't. It isn't. Unfortunately, we have to not promote my local dog, but promote the site. That's just the way it works.
Yeah.
We've got a brand new HUD on 888. Players love it. You will love it if you haven't experienced it yet. And our keyword is HUD. 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 Not a hug for David, but a hug.
It's insane, by the way, that Lime Ricky is anti-Henry and anti-hugs, but apparently pro-HUD. So somehow she's decided to give away a $109 ticket for just 3 letters. What's going on here?
Don't know.
3 letters for $109. That's crazy. I mean, make the people work, Lime.
I'm going to put a picture of Henry into our production WhatsApp chat. So that Lime feels really bad about using HUD instead of Henry for the keyword.
Yep, I'm waiting. I can't wait to do this. I might retweet it. Can I tweet out Henry?
Why? Why do your Twitter followers want Henry?
I'm assuming some people in our chat might follow me on Twitter and maybe they want to see Henry.
Yeah, that's cool. You can do that.
Yeah, so if you want to see Henry, you can follow me at Tuck on Sports. I will retweet a picture of Henry. The famous.
If you want to meet Henry, you need to come round to my house in London.
No, don't do that.
Don't do that.
It's weird. That's creepy and it's weird. Don't do that. But you don't seem like a dog person.
Me?
Yeah, you don't seem like one. I'm not saying you're not. I'm just saying you don't seem like one.
No, you've read me wrong. I'm a dog. I love them all.
Do you have a dog?
Except for tiny ones. No, it's a complicated political situation because Henry, why are we talking about this? Henry is owned by our next door neighbor who is elderly. So we actually walk him. And so rather than getting our own dog, we kind of step parent Henry.
Gotcha. Okay. Will there be a point where you and your lovely wife will get a dog?
Definitely.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Can I, in fact, would you be okay with, you've already said you don't like small dogs. Would you be okay with a present from the Tuckmans, our entire family? We could get you a dog.
Okay, wait. What kind of dog? I don't
It
want
would
a
be a
tiny
nice
dog.
dog. No, I said no tiny dogs. I don't believe in tiny dogs.
No, okay. As long as it's not tiny.
No, I'll get you to. And I assume,
Exciting though this is, David, talking about dogs. Chat want a ticket, not a dog. I don't know why.
okay.
Nothing
Winner
wrong
gets a
with them.
dog. Winner
There's
gets a
nothing wrong
dog.
with them. Here
Winner
we go.
gets a
We're going
dog.
to find out who's won the ticket by saying Hud, not Hug, and not Henry. Hud has won someone a ticket, and that person is Cicello.
Cicello, you have just won a dog. No, you've won a
Won your
$109
own
ticket.
dog.
Yeah, it's even better than a
Proceed
dog.
to the shelter to pick him up.
Oh, there you go. Congratulations, Cicello. Make sure you pay attention to your whisper so Lime Ricky can get a hold of you and get you your ticket. Well done. Cha-cha-cha-cha. Rigged. Exactly. Geo Tromus. They're all rigged. Look at this. Chip Taker says, wait, guy wins on the wheel last week and now he wins the keyword giveaway? Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
We know.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's, listen, it's completely unrelated and just pure coincidence that Cicello is also my dad. Okay? Nice job, Dad. Good job there, buddy.
Okay,
You are
Henry's
watching,
now in the group chat. I've done the important work of this show and put Henry in the group chat.
Good. We'll get it out there on Twitter. Again, you can follow me on Twitter at Tuck on Sports. Shout out to everybody who is watching. Thank you so much. You are watching the $100,000 Mystery Bounty main event, the XL Winter Series, in our rear view mirror. It was a fantastic tournament, as Nick mentioned. Really a lot of fun. All in here, Ace 4 versus Ace 9. Both players flop an ace, but there's a 4 out there. The river, a 5.
Wow.
Oh, my God. What a run out, and the Ace 9 wins. Oh, I mean, in fairness, they were all in 3.
Yes.
still.
In fairness, they had the best hand. It's just a sexy run out.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Almost 3-handed, but Akram 14 does double up with a 5 on the river. Just when you thought we weren't paying attention to the poker at all. See, look at this. We can multitask.
You can. I'm just literally looking at Henry pictures.
Oh, look at Henry. This is when Henry was a puppy.
He's so cute. I love him so much.
Still 4-handed in the Magic Monday extravaganza.
Yeah. Well, not only have we been 4-handed for a while, but these stacks have been very similar for a while as well. Quite unusual.
Yeah. Players have battled. They were, as you mentioned, they were deep, though, for a little while. Ooh, Parabini setting a trap, and it might just work. No! Oh, but it's going to work anyway. I was like, wow, my man did not fall for it, but then he got trapped anyway. I mean, this is almost unfair for my man, because they're like, okay, I didn't fall for the trap by raising with the ace-deuce, and then I'm going to flop an ace anyway? How does that work? And both players' hands, by the way, completely under-repped, because like neither player is supposed to have an ace here, because it went check, right? Limp check.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially as they've both been aggressive. It's quite an unusual situation.
Yeah, and Paravini will likely... What? They checked? Why?
That's a weird one, isn't it? You're not inducing... You're not getting a ton of bluffs on that river card unless they specifically have a flush draw that hasn't got there, I suppose. But they don't often have specifically a flush draw and it doesn't go more crazy.
There's two aspects of that hand that makes no sense. First of all, the check on the river after you go bet, and your opponent calls you. Doesn't make a ton of sense. The other part of it is, if you're my man, give them credit. They did not check and take the bait. They didn't bet and take the bait. If you have an ace there and your opponent checks the river, aren't you betting? It was blind on blind.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny, isn't it? It is funny how, I mean, Caro famously back in the day called it the law of loose wiring, where players don't behave consistently, which makes poker a really hard game. So you think these two have been aggressive with each other the whole final table, and then they get into a situation where both their hands are under-repped against each other and no chips go in. It's the way
right?
it goes.
I mean, that pot could have been and probably should have been much larger. But it does kind of point back to what you asked me earlier. You asked me for advice about the HUD. And, you know, you take what Caro said, right? And you factor in small sample sizes and you get even more unpredictable play and just outcomes.
Yeah.
So,
Very,
you know,
very
giving people
good point.
Giving people a lot of credit when it's small sample sizes can be a huge mistake.
It is what makes poker a very difficult game. it just does make it a very difficult game. You're operating on incomplete information, and you're operating against players who then have a certain amount of unpredictability to how they make decisions. So obviously, our idea is to play the probabilities and make the best call we can, but it's always going to be part art, part science.
Right, and also the thing I love about poker is also, unless you're playing, some like GTO robot or something like that, there's so many other factors that go in. Like, is your opponent in the mood to gamble today? Were they down? Did they lose a lot last session? Things that you have no idea about, by the way. Did they lose? Have they lost for the last 2 weeks straight? Right, whatever it might be. Did they just win the lotto? Are they expecting a child? Who knows? But all these little things that you might have no idea about go into how aggressive they are, how passive they might be, whatever it might be, which to me is actually what excites me about poker. It's why I'm passionate about the game and why I love it so much. I love chess as well, but I do find that sometimes, I play the same players in chess over and over again, and I find them like, oh, it's that open again. Like I know you love that opening, so you're just going to do that every time.
Yeah. Poker is it's just a unique game. We know that. That's why we love it. Who is doing well in the free roll, by the way?
Ooh, exciting news from FenFop, by the way. FenFop says, I managed to turn a $109 ticket received through guessing the nearest Josh and Eastie's total calories. Turn that into a tapas meal in Madrid. It's $149.
Nice. That's
Well
what I
done.
like to hear.
I love it, FenFop. Well done.
Don't just put in numbers for your free roll performance. Just say if you're still in and if you're close to the money, because otherwise everyone just starts typing numbers. It's
Right.
not a competition. It's a roll call. Soren Anki and Sleepy the Old and 12 Pavlo are all in. Good luck.
Yep.
Chris Stroman is there.
Just for the record, I just want to make sure that people do realize the free roll is indeed actually a competition, but this roll call is not.
Wait, what? Why have you said that?
Well, I mean, it's a free roll. They're playing for money.
Yes, but it's not a chat competition.
No,
Everyone just chill out.
I just wanted to-
Pedro, Bougie, Elron, Bodwet are all in the free roll. Balachi's in the free roll. Mo Shark's in the free roll. Good luck. You can't be a million miles off the money. Not too far away from the money, right? Yeah, Soranki confirms. Not too far away. Good luck. Hope you all make it. Prashad, sorry to hear about your leg break. That sounds brutal.
Oh,
Yeah,
how did he
get
break
well
his leg?
soon. No one wants that.
No. Broken leg does not sound fun.
Confirmed, not fun.
No. Have you broken a bone before?
I broke a wrist in school playing sports. That's it. It wasn't serious.
Now, what sport did you play when you broke it?
It is the only time in my life I've ever played goal in soccer, and I broke my wrist. I literally volunteered to do it because we didn't have a goalie. Somebody had to volunteer. I volunteered, and 20 minutes in, I broke my wrist.
Oh, somebody kicked the ball really hard, or you dove and landed on it funny, or did somebody step on it?
Somebody kicked the ball really hard, and I put my hands up like this because I'm not a goalkeeper, and it went.
Wow, that's a hard kick.
Or just like totally incompetent goalkeeping.
No,
Also.
we'll go with really hard kick.
Yeah. It was a guy who's 3 years older than he should have been in the age class that we were playing in, and it was.
Yeah,
It was
and he ended up
outrageous.
playing. He ended up playing for Man City, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
By
that
the way,
makes
look at
sense.
these stacks. After saying that for ages four-handed, there was no movement in the stacks. We're now very, very tight at this final table.
No, this final table will probably last until Wednesday. We're going nowhere, everybody. Good news is the eye candy that is Nick Welthall is still here, and he's not going anywhere until we're done.
Never. I would never leave you.
Thank you. I do appreciate that.
We do have 2 more tickets to give away, but I just can't make a move on that while we're still four-handed, David. It just
No,
seems-
let's lose one player at least.
All right. Also, I
I
need
think
a
that-
question for you.
Yes, you need a question. So, My man going to stay aggressive. They are the chip leader, but that lead a little bit more precarious than it was just a little while ago. Paravini with the always nice 69. Not going to play though. Lets it go. My man back over 40 big blinds.
20 bones at various times.
Maybe did you break like 17 in one spot? Like did you
Sounds
fall
like
off a
there's
bike?
one horrendous incident. Other than that, you were just being like, that's careless.
Yeah. I mean, keep in mind, like if you get into a car accident or you get hit by a car or you're in like a bad bike accident, you can break 16 or 17 in one spill.
Yes.
I've broken my nose twice.
Oh yeah, I had my nose broken. I didn't count that though, because you don't. Did you go to hospital for that?
I did not go to the hospital for that.
No, neither did I.
It still doesn't. That doesn't. Going to the hospital does not make it like, oh, now it's broken.
Kind of counts.
Does it? Unless you go to the hospital.
I don't know. I don't think most people would think about their nose when you talk about broken bone, even though it is a broken bone.
Fair enough.
I don't know.
Pair of tens. It's a tough spot for Paravini. Now the 6 on the turn maybe makes it a little bit easier. Maybe this goes check now. You're a little bit worried. Your opponent's got the 6. I'm betting this though. If I've got Jack 10, I just don't want to give my opponent a free shot at a club. And if they've got a 3 or a worse 10, I can get paid.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to bet this. I don't really understand the check back there.
Players just are very, very afraid of getting check raised on the turns. And I think the fear is a little bit unreasonable because people just don't check raise bluff that often.
No, absolutely they don't.
Especially in this spot, in this dynamic at a final table with only 20 big blinds.
That is the spot in which my old friend and poker mentor would have gone mental at me if I'd checked that twice. Because if you check that twice and they turn over pocket 8s, that is a disaster for you.
Yeah, you cost yourself at least 3 or 4 big blinds. There's no doubt about it.
At least. That is bad.
Yeah, again, I mean, I just think that players have an unreasonable or irrational fear of being check raised on the turn. And I think when you realize that at a final table, when your opponent's only 20 big blinds deep, they just don't check raise bluff very often in this spot.
No, they don't. It's not impossible, of course, but, you know.
No, it happens.
It just, your central point is absolutely right. Players do not check raise bluff very much in Hold'em. They just don't. And especially check raise bluff that puts their tournament on the line. They don't do that very much. Doesn't mean they never do it, but you can't act as if that's a big part of the possibilities when the alternative is you make a value bet and you potentially get paid.
Yeah, I mean, there are situations at other points of a tournament or in a cash game where if I'm playing against somebody who has a propensity to check raise bluff a lot, where maybe I will check it back occasionally in certain spots. But somebody's got to really show me that they do it a ton for me to, lose a value bet.
The river is particularly egregious. I think in the Hold'em book that I always recommend for live play, exploitative play in live tournaments, he has the number across all the online databases of check raise bluffs, and it's something like 0.something% across a massive sample size of people that check raise bluff the river. It just almost never happens.
Well, and you think about that hand in particular. So it's Jack 10, right? On a 10-6-3 all club board. Turns a 6, and the river is like a blank king. The king is kind of irrelevant unless your opponent just happens to have the king X of clubs, right? Just a random king. And you've got to look at that hand and go, well, the times your opponent's got a 6, they're going to bet the river. The times your opponent has a flush, they're going to bet the river almost always. So unless you got really, really unlucky and your opponent had a king, right, you can get value for more so often there.
But yes, you got to get unlucky, but then they've also got to decide to make a superstar play and check raise for value, which
right.
Honestly, we're going to see an all in a call, and they've got the same hand here.
Oh wait, no, they don't. Heart.
This would be brutal.
It would be, but it does not happen. 2 spades, ace, and the jack, and they are going to chop it up. No, 100%. But I'm saying, yes, even if your opponent did hit a king, all that's going to happen is you're going to bet 4 big blinds, and your opponent's going to call you, and you're going to lose 4 big blinds. That's it. You value own yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
And I always fall back to the statement of this, which is if you're not occasionally value owning yourself, you're not value betting enough.
Yeah, and just to put a bow on that hand, just think about all the different hands that they could potentially call you with. Because especially once you've checked the turn, your hand is so under-repped, you might get looked up by ace high.
Oh, for sure.
Right. So there's just a ton of stuff that can look you up there. Anyway, we move on.
We do move on. Ace 10 versus King Queen. We should see some action here.
Akrom has sort of hung on in there when they were the short stack. They were the short stack for ages, four-handed, and now they're close to the chip lead.
Yeah, but they're going to have a tough time winning this one on this king high flop. Akrom 14, by the way, came into this final table as our chip leader. They do have the most bounties, nearly $1,800 in bounties. I don't mind just a call with king queen. You certainly could check raise that, but when you have the queen of hearts, I don't mind just calling in this particular spot.
Yeah, the only thing you can do wrong here is fold.
Right, and now it should be a value bet for the king queen and maybe get called by ace 10. Remember the turn went check, check. And there it is. Kind of a small bet, just 3 big blinds into 12. Akrom 14 getting a really nice price, getting 5 to 1. I don't think I can fold ace 10 when I'm getting 5 to 1.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense to bet small here. They do
Wow.
fold ace 10 getting 5 to 1. Crikey.
See, those
And
are
they're
also
right.
moments.
That's the thing. They're actually right.
100%. If you're watching this and you want to help, you want to improve your game, these are the spots where you go, well, they didn't get called, okay. But now you start thinking, well, can I bluff that now? I mean, for just 3 big blinds, they risk 3 to win 12, right? And you got to start thinking here, well, can I bluff there then? Right? If I can get a hand as strong as ace 10 to fold on that run out,
That's
and
my
all I need to
favorite
do is
tip.
risk 3 big blinds, that's amazing.
You know, that's my favorite tip, don't you, for improvement? I think I've wheeled it out many times with you.
Yeah.
Which is make a note of spots where you've bet for value and you've got a fold, and then when you're reviewing your hands, ask yourself, is this a bluff spot that I could take in the future? And that's how you find more opportunities to bluff.
And the sizing of it was just really remarkable. I mean, that bluff does not have to work very often for it to be profitable. You're risking 3 to win 12,
Absolutely.
right? If it works 1 in 4 times, you break even.
Quick fold from my man. We're going to give away 2 more $109 tickets soon, Dave Tutman, because, you know, I respect our viewers' time and I want to reward them. And this four-handed play has gone on forever.
Okay. Well, I mean, okay, fine, but I'm going to throw this out there then. If it goes on longer though, and we don't make it, and this tournament continues on into the next level, you better give away more tickets then.
It
Out of your own pocket.
It doesn't feel like the sort of thing I do, really.
I know, but I'm just coming out and saying it. Listen, fine, I'll do it. If this tournament, then, if you're going to give away tickets now, I just want to make sure that our viewers stay with us, okay?
Yes.
If the tournament continues on to the next level, I will give away a $109 ticket out of my own money.
Level. You mean post-break?
Post-break is exactly what I mean. Yes, thank you.
I mean next blind level.
No, it's online poker. Blind levels are every, 40 seconds.
Yeah, who knows how many blind levels there are? It's unknown. They're so fast.
Okay. Well, you know the rules, everybody. It's very simple. Only answer once. Don't answer more than once. You have to climb inside my brain and think how I think, which is admittedly quite difficult. But I think you can do it. Most of you know me by now. If you don't, well, then you'll know me more now, a little later. Nick, do you have a question for me?
I certainly do, David Tutman. 1 guest per play. You can play on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube or Twitch, but obviously only play once. No one who's cool plays on both formats. That is unethical, and you're not like that. You're a good person.
Okay.
Yeah. David, we're sticking with wolves because you recently went to a wolf sanctuary, and really that's what people are here for. They're here for wolf chat, as far as I know. I can't think that's right. It's a very simple question for both you and chat. In what year was the last recorded sighting of a wild wolf in Europe?
No.
In what year was the last recorded sighting of a wild wolf in Europe? I can confirm they are extinct in the wild here. In what year was the last recorded sighting of a wild wolf in Europe?
By the way, it saddens me to think that there are no wild wolves in Europe. Because that's a thing here in North America. Now, there's a lot of things wrong with America these days. I'm not going to come out and say that we're
But
perfect.
you've won
But
on
we have
wolves.
wolves. We have wolves.
You've
Okay,
won-
there are
you've
wild
won
wolves.
on having wolves.
Yeah, which hey, it's at least something. Anyway, okay, the last recorded sighting of a wild wolf.
I have no idea what the answer is, by the way. I just think I'm interested to know what your guess is.
Is this how many years ago or what year?
No, the year.
The year. Okay, fair enough.
Good luck, chat. We've got 2 109 tickets to give away. It's a stupid question like they always are, but the prize is non-stupid. $109 tickets to play on 888 Poker. You'll get into a big tournament with that. And many people have won prizes like that and turned them into cash, sometimes big cash. Hopefully it'll be you. Next. The man takes that one down, keeps the chip lead. David's answer is in.
I'm actually genuinely curious how close that was because I did put. As always, we promise that we do really genuinely try to get these right. Sometimes
I haven't
we are.
I haven't.
Sometimes we are
looked, so-
woefully inept, and we illustrate our absolute lack of knowledge and intelligence. But we do try our best. Battle of the deuces here. One's got an ace, one's got the 5. And my man is going to take one of the worst hands they could have here and turn it into a bluff. A lot of players out of the big blind will be very polarized. They'll either have, very, very big hands or trash like this. And my man back up to about 40 big blinds. And amazingly, we are still here, 4-handed. Will we ever lose somebody?
It's been 4-handed in online poker end of a tournament term. It's been 4-handed for an unnatural amount of time, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like a full January.
It's like a full January. It's very thematic, certainly, with the with the never-ending January. It was unbelievable how it fell this year with not only everything that happened, the way the calendar worked out with when Christmas was and all that stuff. People really felt like they have not had a break for a long time, and hopefully February goes faster and has got more nice stuff in it.
I'm here for that. More nice stuff in February. Let's do it. Plenty of good stuff coming up for us on 888. Of course, we'll be in Barcelona in May. And very exciting news. We have, I can't disclose where, but we have another 888 live event for later in 2025 that is going to blow.
Know where.
I know everything. It's going to blow your socks off, folks. Blow them off. This is going to be all in.
And
all
there's a
in.
cool big pot.
Oh, wow. Ace, queen, a jack. A jack? No, that's a 3 of diamonds. And look at that. Akram 14, who was our chip lead at the start of the final table, is back in the chip lead. And Parabini is on life support with just 1 big blind.
The contest is closed. And apparently, David Tuckman, excitingly, wolves aren't extinct in Europe, apparently.
Well, I feel like I got misinformation then. That doesn't seem fair.
Well, you did get misinformation. I also got information. I think they're extinct in Western Europe, and they were nearly extinct everywhere. I've been looking on the internet since we asked the question.
Darn.
Our chat is
Okay.
telling us that they've all got wolves in their living room, apparently. You can't go out of the front door in Romania without tripping over one, so I'm told. I don't.
You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, we go to Romania.
Poker.
There is poker here. Pair of queens. I like it.
Peravini is done unless
He's looking for a 10.
10.
Why isn't Bombardsta 69 betting? They've got a queen. Now they're behind.
Fair comment.
When everybody checks in, you have top pair. Just bet.
Peravini must feel like they're probably not still in the tournament at this point.
Nah, it's unlikely when there's a bet and a call on the turn and you have jack high.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, my man did not bet the river. There was no bets in the river. 1% had trips, 1% had top pair. Paravini is out. Yeah. My man, by the way, has eliminated, I want to say like 4 or at least 3 players. They pick up another $140 in bounties, and we are 3-handed.
Paravini, the victim of four-handed play, they were the chip leader for a decent amount of time, and then things went south. Unlucky.
Yeah, that king, queen, ace, queen hand, pretty much, that was 40 big blinds. But couldn't get much going. My man on 45 big blinds. We're going to get an all in here from Bombasta 69 and a call. Pair 10s versus an open-ended straight draw. An ace, a 9, or a king.
That'll
He
do
would have
it.
done it too. Yeah. And we do get an elimination. Bombasta 69 does ladder up to 69 to third place. It laddered up past 69th, by the way. How much are they worth? $140. So what that means is the winner of this heads-up battle will take home 2 bounties, including a $500 bounty, which makes this heads-up match a little bit more intriguing.
Yeah. Means it's worth something like $2,500 if you include the bounty. And they've had very different final table experiences. A Crom was down to 9 big blinds, I think, maybe even slightly less at one point. And they've battled away. Mamana's always had chips, but they enter this basically even.
By the way, I just took the moment to look up. You're savages in the UK. Do you know the last wild wolf in the UK was in 1680?
Yeah, we turn them all into pets. We're not stupid. What do we want?
1680!
What do we want wolves in the woods for when we're going for a walk? We put them all on a lead.
1680! Oh my
I
gosh!
should have said the UK, and then you would have been a million miles away.
No, I would have made it. I would have changed my answer. By the
You
way,
would have
if
adjusted
the
for
UK,
our
I would have said
fabric
it. Well, of course. I mean, the UK also it's an island. So
Fair
once you've
point.
eliminated them, they can't. They're not coming anymore. Europe is quite big. But I should have factored in Romania. And Romania's got a lot of rural area, and they love wolves there.
So if you'd figured out they weren't extinct, your guess would have been 2025, obviously.
Right, but
The
yeah,
last
I'm gonna
recorded sighting
full
would have been
disclosure. I did not.
But you did not guess that.
I did not figure that out. No. Well, you did tell me they were extinct, so I took that.
Yeah, but
And
you
ran with
can't
it.
believe what I say. I sent you a picture of Henry. That's just a dog I got off the internet.
Listen, I have a lot of belief in you, a lot of faith, and maybe it's a mistake. I don't know. Icon 14, looking to go wire to wire. They have relinquished this lead from much of the final table, but again, they did come to the final table with the chip lead. Quick shout out to some of you in the chat. What's up, Fabregas?
Oh, did you make the money in the free roll? Yes, you did. Bougie, you're in the money in the free roll. Who else is in the money in the free roll? We've
Go
just
get
got
it.
time for a shout out while this heads up does its thing. Jupiter Wolf, appropriately, is in the money. A night for Wolves. More than I thought. Merciless made it. Bad luck. Sorananki didn't make it. Sleepy the Old made it.
Always.
Cash the free roll many times, Sleepy. You're an expert.
Yeah, they are
DF906 is in. Good stuff.
What about 905, though? DF 905, good friend of mine. Are they there? Oh, Musamon is out with Jack, beaten by an ace. Yeah, it'll happen like that. More often than not, when you do lose with jacks, it's because you lost an ace.
Fox Force is in the money. Nice. Bodwet is in the money. Unlucky Christy Roman. We will probably be off air when it concludes, but hopefully somebody will get to the final table. Good luck.
Yeah, Noob Frost Mage, by the way, the 1680 is the Google answer for when wolves were extinct in the UK. Not my answer.
Yeah, we'll just watch the end of this heads up, and then we'll get David's answer, and then we'll find out who's won.
And then can we do, I've been waiting for it all week, can we do the Wheel of Justice spin?
We are so going to do the Poker Wheel of Justice, David Tuckman. We're going to Poker Wheel of Justice our tits off.
Yes. Which is good because considering the average weight in America, if I can go titless, I'll probably lose some weight.
You've got a massive advantage on your compatriots.
Yes. Right.
Step away from the Buffett, lads. Step away. You
It'll
don't
be.
need bacon and cheese on top of that. It's a bloody muesli.
I mean, it's pretty crazy though when you think about it. Average height 5'7.5", average weight 200 pounds.
I think the height is wrong.
I mean, that's just like Americans, just like little bowling balls.
Okay, wait a minute. If I put average height in the
Hold
US,
on, stop. We might get
we
get
go.
action here. Yeah,
we must
top
get
pair.
action here. We must get
think?
all the action here.
It is a nut flush draw versus top pair with the ace kicker. Catching Fire says, "Uh-oh." Well, for somebody. We'll see how this plays out. I mean, when you're Akram, you're really feeling good about this because you're like, well, I can hit a diamond or an ace, right? And we can see obviously the ace is no good.
I don't think Arkrom is going to raise again here. I could be wrong, just based on
they're
the little bit of play we've seen of them. But let's.
Yeah, they're in position.
They do.
No, they are. You were wrong.
They do. So it's probably going to go in here.
It probably should go in. My man, ace 9. Yep, all of it goes in, and now Akram 14 can't fold. They're going to make the call. A diamond ends it, and there's a diamond.
Immediately.
Boom! Jack of diamonds is going to end it, and Akram 14 goes to the final table as the chip leader and ends with all the chips. They are your winner. My man finishes in second place. How much extra they get? 61 cents. No, more than that, everybody. 43.61, and if our records are correct, this should be 500. It's not correct. It's 200. Still really nice. An extra $243 there. So my man
as
will take
accurate
home
with the bounties as we are with Wolf Death.
Yes. My man going to take home about $6,000 for their second place efforts. And Akram 14. This is pretty amazing, by the way. So in October, they hit their over $1,000 cash achievement, and that was still their biggest cash, where they won $1,400. Today, they just won about $9,000.
Incredible.
Actually, no. Sorry, almost $10,000.
Incredible. I mean, that is what 888 is all about. It's all about giving poker players who don't hit big prizes as many chances as we can for them to do what Akram's just done. And a great final table story. They were the short stack for a lot of the final table. It just goes to show if you hang in there, good things can happen. Nicely done.
Let's give away tickets.
Let's do it. I asked you, when were wolves last? When was the last recorded sighting of a wolf in Europe? And it turns out that it was probably yesterday or some shit. However,
John just shot the last wolf yesterday in Romania.
Yeah, literally. So stop the clock. However, that's not the case. They're all over the place in Romania. They use them to go to the shops with and stuff like that. But at the time, we thought they were extinct. So, David, what was your answer and how did you come up with it, given the erroneous information I gave you?
I have a 14-minute explanation, but I'm gonna take it down to about 20 seconds. Very quickly. I actually thought that in the UK they were extinct a while ago. I did think that. I figured it was somewhere in the 1800s. But I thought the UK. I was like, okay, Europe. There's a lot of countries, some more rural, and as a result, there would be around. But I actually thought that the wolves would have gone extinct. The last ones would have gone extinct right before World War II. And then World War II would have ended it. So that's how I came up with 1938.
1938 is the exact right answer. If you don't think so, you don't understand what you're watching, because this is genius. David Tuchman's answer is what David Tuchman thinks. Two people thought alike with you. One of them exactly alike. The Crazy Scotsman is inside your head. They said 1938. And Parabellum is quite near your head. They said 1941. So Parabellum and the Crazy Scotsman, you have won $109 tickets. Well done to you.
That's amazing. Yeah, well done getting inside my head. I do apologize. And while you're in there, if you can clean up a little bit, I'd really appreciate it. That would be great. Let's do a Wheel of Justice spin. We have two $109 tickets to give here. If you're wondering how to get on this, well, we'll put a link in the chat so you can find out. But your Twitch points, you thought they were worthless. They're not. They can get you on this wheel, and you might win a $109 ticket. Of course, you have to be in the chat to win. Let's spin the wheel.
We've upped our font game. That is slightly clearer. Lovely
I just think there's less people.
Only good people are picked by the Poker Wheel of Justice. That's why it's called the Poker Wheel of Justice. And the first good person this week is Camsmay. You must be in chat to win. Camsmay, are you here? Reveal yourself.
Are you here, Camsmay?
Reveal yourself, Camsmay. There's a $109 ticket in this.
By the way, I'm looking around the room for a noisemaker. And there was a moment where I thought, well, if I grab my cat, she'll make a noise.
Yes,
then
and we'll be
I thought
banned.
better of it. Yeah, I thought
Cams
better of it.
May,
No.
you are a winner. Well done. You've won a $109 ticket. We need another winner. Spin the reel of Poker Justice.
Wow, Cams May is there. Congratulations, Cams May. Spin
One
it
more
again.
winner
Let's
tonight.
do it.
That person is. That
It's a
person
long
is.
name. Watch it, brother.
Watch it, brother. I have never seen you on chat, but if you're
Never.
here, you win a $109 ticket.
And by the way, watch it, brother. If you are here, you're here.
Yeah!
Congratulations. Hey, watch it, brother. Since we've never seen you in the chat and you're clearly here, first of all, thank you for being here. Always here. Watch it, brother. Be more active in the chat. We like to say hi to you people.
I can understand being intimidated by David. Congratulations on your $109 ticket. Awesome.
Hey, watch it, brother. You can watch it come right to your inbox. That's right. Go to your Whispers. Make sure you get your $109 ticket. Congratulations to all of you. Of course, congratulations to our winner, Akram14, earning themselves nearly $10,000. What a magical Monday it was.
It was a pleasure. Lots of fun. And we'll be back next week with more tickets, more giveaways, another free roll, another final table. It's going to be great.
Yeah, for sure. For everybody here at 88 Poker, for Lime Ricky, for Hayden, for Nick Welthall, I am David Tuckman. Good night and goodbye.
Good night.